What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking even more about Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, some massive secrets that you need to know about, plus even more. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and also as a reminder, we got plenty of brand new content going up over on detonated.com, expanding on all the coverage you're seeing here on this channel, just in the form of articles on the website, and plenty of tweets, of course, every hour on Detonated's Twitter. With that being said, I made a Zombies video a couple of days ago, recapping everything you need to know thus far about the upcoming iteration of Zombies coming out on November the 10th. I went ahead and did a trailer breakdown that came out from COD Next, talked about exclusive details that I got to learn from the pre-brief, and even recapped a bit of information that other content creators shared, since some people out there did go to Treyarch early last week to play the mode for themselves. There's even more secrets that have spilled out on the internet about MW3 Zombies, and we're going to break all that down here in this video. Please refer to timestamps down below in case you guys out there want to skip to specific topics. Now, I do want to start with a bit of a news roundup of some various leaks that have popped up on Twitter the last couple of days. It's been a lot to keep up with, and I'm sure you guys missed out on this. I wrote an article kind of recapping this as well for those that would prefer to read this. But with that being said, in terms of all MW3 Zombies perks, they apparently include Jug, Deadshot, Speed Cola, Stamina Up, Elemental Pop, PhD Flopper, Death Perception, Quick Revive, and even Tombstone. In regards to all zombie power-ups, we're supposed to be seeing Armor Vest, Bonus Points, Carpenter, Fire Sale, Double Points, Full Power, Insta-Kill, Max Ammo, Nuke, and even a Perk Can. Not sure why we have both an Armor Vest and Carpenter there, but I'm sure we'll learn more about that when the game does drop. And apparently these are all the zombie audio log / radio characters. We have Kapoor, Green, Miller, Jansen, Dobbs, Barrera, Ravenoff, Fang, Laswell, and even Soap. So that's cool to just know what characters we're going to be working with primarily inside of this game mode. And in terms of all zombie achievements that are apparently coming, these are going to be the trophies that you can actually go ahead and grind day one once the game does drop, whether you're on PlayStation, Xbox, or even PC. So the achievements do include, and so it begins, Back from the Dead, Conqueror, Gravestone, Helpful Stranger, Hired Gun, One Against All, Perkaholic, Seeing Red, Slaughterhouse, Write-Off, You Can Pet the Dog, and The End. Now, I'm a big fan of zombie achievements. I know every title except for Cold War added in brand new zombie achievements every time a new map got added in. Not sure why that stopped with Cold War, but maybe it's just going to be a reoccurring theme now that we only get zombie trophies once the full game does launch, and you can do those trophies on the launch map. Maybe that's going to be it, but I'm looking forward to actually giving these a go once the game does drop. Now, I also want to remind you guys that a lot of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies information has been shared in 3 different ways. The first way is through a pre-brief that a lot of content creators, including myself, got to actually listen to the day before COD Next. We sat down for a presentation where they talked all about upcoming content for multiplayer, Warzone, and of course Zombies. Then there was a second batch of information that came out when a few select creators actually went to Treyarch a couple days before COD Next to play MW3 Zombies for themselves. They got told other exclusive information that was not shared in either the pre-brief or even the COD Next broadcast. During the COD Next broadcast, we also got a good 30-minute breakdown of MW3 Zombies, what it's all about, but we didn't get a lot of the information during that broadcast that I heard during the pre-brief or other creators heard when they went to Treyarch earlier last week. So essentially there's 3 different sources of information on top of the random leaks that are popping up on Twitter. So I'm doing my best to recap everything that I can here in individual videos, and of course with tweets and articles over on Detonated. But content creators like Dalek have went ahead and mentioned that in terms of what they heard at Treyarch, starting off with Wonder Weapons, you'll be able to see all 3 Wonder Weapons inside of the mystery box. But the longer you stay in a match, the higher the chance you have to get a Wonder Weapon from the mystery box. On top of that, they've described Wonder Weapon cases. Think weapon cases from DMZ, but them having an actual use in Zombies to where you can possibly craft the Wonder Weapon at the main menu that you could bring into your next infill. It's unclear how they're going to work, but it looks like they're taking weapon cases to the next level and will give them some actual value instead of just exfilling with one and then getting a random cosmetic reward for having done so. There will be actual implications to finding a Wonder Weapon case in the map, and as talked about in a previous video, there's going to be schematics and acquisitions, essentially the new version of Buildables in this new Zombies, and you will be able to craft a Wonder Weapon using that new system as well. But amongst one of the craziest reports that, again, I didn't see any coverage of during the pre-brief that I was in or during the COD Next broadcast is the fact that there is actually an extension to the in-game 60-minute timer. So as it was described to us, when you're in a match of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, there is a 45-minute timer similar to DMZ, and once that timer is up, you have about 15 minutes to go at an exfil before the Ether Storm collapses on you, which will get you killed. But according to some private information that was shared at Treyarch earlier last week, there will be an end game type of contract you can do to extend that timer, which I'm sure is going to be very helpful and probably necessary to do secret Easter egg quests to get added post-launch. Might even want to go ahead and take advantage and find these contracts for even the main quests that are going to be available day one through the various faction missions. That is actually huge for those out there that already had a problem with the quote-unquote timer that's going to limit you into what you can do for MW3 zombies. Like I mentioned before, and without beating a dead horse, the fact that you can exfil with your loot and go right into a new game with everything that you just found doesn't bother me at all, because all it's going to take really is just a switch from one match to the next without having to start all over again in another game. And if anything, that's very in line with what an extraction shooter is, which is what this mode is focusing on. But for those that are like, oh, well, what about round-based? We'll get back to that in a second, but do keep that in mind that timers can be extended and probably even be adjusted after a lot of community feedback once the mode comes out. But if you're like, DK, what about solo players who want to jump into MW3 zombies? Obviously, you were able to play Outbreak solo during Cold War, but it was still recommended that you play with an actual squad. Looking at DMZ through Modern Warfare 2, it's also recommended you play with an actual squad. Solo isn't exactly the play for DMZ, and it's also not going to be the play here for MW3 zombies. Treyarch apparently acknowledged to content creators behind the scenes that they're aware that the mode isn't exactly solo friendly and are going to be looking into how to make it solo friendly before the game does drop, or hopefully by the Season 1 update in December. It's unclear what that could entail, whether that means they're going to scale your health differently, or they'll ensure that you spawn in a certain area where the zombies aren't as difficult. Maybe you spawn in with a self-revive, or maybe as you do certain tasks in the environment, you'll get decked out to the point where you don't even need a team in that match that you're in. We'll see how they end up doing that, but it's cool they already acknowledged that, yeah, the mode isn't exactly solo friendly and isn't for the faint of heart, so they're going to find a way to make everybody happy by the time we all get our hands on the game in November. But a crazy update in regards to round-based and other maps for MW3 zombies, as they went ahead and said, the final story quest missions, as we talked about in my previous video, are set in completely new maps that do not reuse Urzikstan. They were built specifically for these missions. As I brought up in a previous video, we talked about the 3 different tiers of missions that we're going to be seeing in MW3 zombies. Some of the later tiered missions are going to be very story focused and will have you in different environments. But to elaborate on that, if we're going to be in completely new maps that do not reuse Urzikstan, that right there opens the door to either seeing those smaller maps then reused for, let's say, small onslaught experiences, or even some basic classic round-based, similar to what Groston House is to the Final Reich in World War II zombies. I really wouldn't mind seeing that, right? And to kind of go along with that, there were also statements made to content creators that played MW3 zombies last week. Treyarch did say that round-based players will be satisfied by some plans in the works, whether that means plans for round-base's return in Black Ops 2024, or plans to bring in some type of LTM or other round-based type mode inside of MW3. Treyarch acknowledged once again at CODNEXT that they understand people want round-based maps and will be doing what they can to please everybody. So although this mode MW3 has a DMZ extraction outbreak type focus, it's very open world and kind of sandbox-y, they are looking into how to please round-based fans, or even people out there that are high rounders in the zombies community. I think the easiest way to do that is to just take those smaller scale maps that they're working on for those story missions, just add a round counter, right? Add those maps to the main menu, or give it onslaught containment, something to keep people going and something to please those round-based or high round players, or even players that just want to grind some Camos and zombies without playing the bigger Urzikstan map. Just do that, and I think if they go ahead and go that route and then save actual resources for round-based in their next Black Ops game, it'll pay off the most. But also some details in regards to perks. According to Dalek, Death Perception will be super useful for a lot of side missions. For example, you can actually see spores in infested strongholds using that perk. And I already brought up information about Tombstone in a previous video. I also put a tweet out over on Detonated about this, but if you guys have Tombstone and you fully bleed out in a match, you die and the game ends, you can come back into another match of MW3 zombies, go to that same location, and your Tombstone should be there. That is absolutely game changing and will probably give Tombstone the biggest glow up we've ever seen for a perk inside of Call of Duty Zombies. I know Mule Kick also got a glow up inside of Cold War, but you get what I mean. In one of the clips of gameplay that Treyarch also provided, you can see PhD clearly being used in the distance, and it wasn't a PhD slide, it was a PhD flop. So it's unclear if you have your normal sliding and dolphin diving when you're playing zombies, but then when you have PhD specifically, it'll ensure that you get both a PhD slide and a PhD flop, or will it just be a regular flop like we saw in older COD titles? It's unclear how that's going to work, but it's funny, we haven't seen a Treyarch title incorporate both sliding and dolphin diving. Modern Warfare 2 and 3 both offer that, so now it's cool to see that we can have a PhD that can utilize the best of both in a way that we haven't seen before. The last thing I'll end with in regards to mastery challenges, camos, and even calling cards is the fact that as of now, it looks like we're going to be seeing 4 multiplayer mastery camos for MW3 weapons, 4 multiplayer rare mastery camos for MW2 weapons. I'm assuming it's the same camos we already have in MW2, but you can choose to grind them inside of the new COD. And then we have 4 zombies mastery camos for both sets of weapons. I believe it's the same set of camos for both MW2 and MW3 weapons that you can grind by playing this new experience. Some of the zombie camos do apparently include Gold Enigma, Arachnida, Blood, Bioluminescent, and Dark Heart. Again, completely subject to change. Might not be the final names of these camos, but keep that information in mind once the game does drop. And there's even a variety of challenges that already leaked out on Twitter, which are probably unfinished, probably don't reflect what we're actually going to see on launch day, but lots of different challenges did leak out as to what you have to do while playing zombies to get either calling cards, camos, mastery charms, who knows what, but there is a lot of information flowing around, and I'll do the best that I can to recap everything for you guys in the form of videos and even articles. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on this bonus zombies video here for you guys tonight? Talking more about Modern Warfare 3 and some of the secrets that you guys probably missed, because a lot of this information was not shared in the COD Next broadcast or even the pre-brief that I made a video about a couple days ago. Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.